Alright, next episode of Jinga. Once again, as with Garo episodes, it's kind of short to recap. A Makai priest named Ugai, who has heard of Jinga's power to purify horror essence from humans, has contacted him and wants to get his help in turning back a horror who was an associate or friend of his. It works, and then Ugai offers his services to find more and more horrors that the watchdogs have not identified or contacted or somehow sensed because, I don't know. One of the things that was established about the watchdogs and horrors is that in every district there are types of sensors set up to detect when the horrors manifest. So unless they're manifesting at unheard of rates or through unusual means, like they're being intentionally implanted or created, which has happened in previous series, then the watchdogs are supposed to be able to identify them simply because of the gate that's formed, which is detectable and trackable. So there has to be something else going on that is manipulating all these things into existence that Ugai can somehow identify and tap into. That is unfortunately unaddressed in the episode because, well, through all of the horror slayings, one eventually adds up where Ugai gets trapped in his grasp while Jinga has been knocked down, and excuse me, Ugai is basically eaten by the horror. Actually, there's no basically, he is eaten by the horror, to Jinga's odd nonchalance. Now, as I can see through the mannerisms of Masahiro Inoue's acting, Horror Jinga is waking up again, just more slyly than his last attempt, and simply mustering his power through the masses of horrors that Jinga, the human, is defeating and absorbing all of their essence to then feed on him. It's far more subtle, but still distinguishable, and they dwell on it with Fusa. Yeah, I keep forgetting her name. Fusa noticing the ticks and calling back to the spell she learned from the other Makai priest. Now, something I got wrong in last week's episode recap, because I simply misremembered the details, because my memory is shoddy at best when I'm not, like, writing all of this down, is that the deep tracking horror detection spell that's supposed to track a horror that is sleeping within someone's soul, so basically hiding in plain sight with the human host none the wiser, nor drawing upon the normal desire to feast on humans. Yeah, there's a spell that detects that happening, but it so often misreads as a positive without horror essence in people that just have a lot of malevolence and negative yen in their bodies, that it became a unreliable test, which the Mado Flame is far more effective with. But of course, with a horror has been forcibly suppressed within the host, and that is a way to detect it. And the priest thinks it's, of course, for Toma. Fusa, I think, is swaying between doubt and blind faith, which the episode's name is the kanji for blind faith, a skeptical doubt, which good naming scheme is, rephrase, a excellent naming scheme of the franchise's, rephrase again, I can't talk tonight. The episode names for each of these events is still well titled. That's still a weird way to phrase it. With Fusa swaying between the doubt she has and the faith she wants to place in Jinga with this, and yet she's setting all the pieces up to eventually be devastated when, well, we have to have the reveal coming that Jinga is possessed by a horror. It's like, there's 4 episodes left in the series. You kind of have to have that reveal and Jinga be shocked to his core by it, while Horror Jinga is still waking up inside him, or making him disallowing Horror Jinga to wake up in full. One or the other, or some third thing I haven't thought of. But the pieces are still there, and the doubt is raised because of Jinga not really seeming to care about Ugai's death when all of these other deaths actually did so deeply impact him. The ones with his father, the one to his mother, the mere thought of having to kill Toma when he was infested by a horror. And so he's becoming obsessed with his mission and, in his own way, losing bits and pieces of, ironically, the humanity that Horror Jinga is trying to supplant. So either Jinga on some level realizes what's happening to him and wants to help as many people as fast as he can, which is entirely possible, or the Horror Jinga is so far in its encroachment that it's beginning to blur the line, and human Jinga just doesn't care because of that influence. Another thing that should be noted, though, is the episode ends with Jinga in what counts as a post-credit scene, since they don't really have an ending credit scene in this series because there's just too much content in it to really have an ending credit scene. Jinga comes across a newly manifested horror, but it's possessing a woman in an incident previously who was crushing on this guy who was possessed by horror. I think it's episode 4 or 5. I'm actually flipping through that right now. No, 5 was the... Yeah, episode 5 was the succubus plot. Episode 4... Episode 4 is wrong, too. Termination, ill intention? Maybe that was it? It's like, the wikis are terrible for this. No, that was the wrong one, too. Maybe it was episode 6. But yeah, sorry about that. The point is that Jinga is shocked to his core that a horror so easily reinfected one of them, and the guy who he thought was purified of his malevolence that allowed him to manifest a horror is going straight back to his old ways, showing that at least this person in specific cannot change. Or maybe there was some situation in which he was forced to fall back on his old ways. I'm still flipping through the episodes to see if I can figure out which one it was. Episode 1 was the schoolgirl plot. Episode 2 was the one where, see, now I can't name, Toma. The one where Toma was possessed. I have no idea which one it was. Regardless, yeah, this is going to be a big problem for Jinga as, well, he's believed he's helping these people get rid of the parts of themselves that can manifest horrors or allow them to bloom within them. And as I kind of... a lot of stuff keeps interrupting me tonight. As I kind of tried to address in one of the previous vlogs, at least I think, human nature changing is not that simple. It's one of the hallmarks of the Garl franchise in that humans will never obtain the purity of spirit to truly banish the horrors forever. To do so is simply to make them completely inhuman. And I like that the show is, by this shocking reveal, is pretty much going back to that and re-showcasing that with this backslide between the guy and his lover, and that he's instead corrupted someone else into becoming a horror. Granted, I still feel that someone has to be causing all of these sudden horror outbreaks, because they're usually not supposed to be this frequent, at least from what's been presented before in Garl lore about this. So maybe they were reinfested just to get this point across to Jinga that maybe he should just give up on humanity and allow himself to give up to the Jinga within him, and let the Messiah emergence that I really do presume is where this is all headed, happen to destroy them all. And that being Jinga's, like, final test of character for this series. Again, we've got 4 episodes. That could be where they're going with this. But I still feel like something's more off about this one. I really can't put my finger on it, but it feels like they're skipping past parts of a bigger arc because, well, it's a 12-episode series, and Garo, even with the filler, usually runs about that, as they use the filler for character stuff or to just showcase interesting horrors and fight scenes, which not been really seen this series, and probably is what's missing for me. I mean, the show's this entry has had 3 directors that I don't recognize the names of at all from the usual Garo directing staff, so this might be on a lower budget in comparison to other Garo series that might explain what's going on with that. But I think that might be what's missing. It's not really that creative. No, that's not the wrong word. As I am enjoying the greater plot with Jinga, but there's something to the formula that's absent, and I'm still struggling to grasp exactly what it is. Maybe in a rewatch I'll actually figure it out, but yeah, that's all I have for the moment. In other news, Toei went after my account again on YouTube, so everything got copyright strike that I've been trying to fix the last few months. Yeah. So I am no closer to getting those back up on a permanent basis than I was 4 months ago. I hate that. I really, really do hate that. Though, something else that will be up on another of my pages aside from this one, I've been working on this for several weeks now. Yeah, this is 1-to-1 scale. I've checked. I'll be posting the templates elsewhere, and I'll be showcasing that when it is. So make sure to check my Twitter page in a week or two to actually see what's going on with this and how to make it for yourselves, because this is the final test build. I'm not even kidding. It's coming soon. With that, I will sign off, and I will see you all next time.